In response to the need for skills training for business and industry in our area, in June of 1965 the Pioneer Joint Vocational School District Board of Education was formed. On January 11, 1966, the citizens of 9 parent school districts making up the Pioneer District at that time voted and passed a levy to build and operate Pioneer Joint Vocational School. They recognized the fact that one can no longer earn an adequate living without skills for the jobs of the day. Because the concept of joint vocational school was new, it was difficult to predict the cost of equipment and operational needs. In a short time, it was obvious that we needed to seek additional funding and expand our programs.
Pioneer started, it opened in 1968, and it started because the legislature had decided that all schools had to have vocational training, and so it started in 1968 with 10 home schools, and those schools then sent students here, and that's how the school got started. It was because of the legislature.
I took accounting computing. That was the name of it at that time. You took a semester of computer programming type thing. That was back when they did the boards and card reading and things like that. And then you also took the other half of the year you took accounting, and then your senior year you got to choose which way you were going.
Favorite memory? Well, when we started here, when the school opened, it wasn't completely done. I mean, we went around as a senior carpenter class. We hung doors in here and set cabinets and did stuff like that because the school wasn't, technically, it really wasn't completed to be started yet, but they opened it anyhow. But that and there weren't enough seniors in our class, so they brought in a couple juniors into our senior class. And just working with the kids, and we went out. And the second half of my senior year, we went up and built a farrowing house, which farrows hogs out here on Cole Road, or Baker 47 for Cole was the guy's name. And I remember building that. That was the first building that we ever built.
As the popularity of vocational education grew, so did our building. Several updates, additions, and renovations were needed to make sure we were providing the best possible education for our students.
Well, the building's a lot bigger than what it was when I went here. It's about 3 times bigger than what it is. And when I started, there was just one wing up here, a little about the cafeteria and down to beyond carpentry a little bit. It was about all bigger it was.
The building is obviously different now. I've been teaching here working here for 9 years now, and even in the 9 years that I've been here, the building has changed significantly through the renovations. I remember the tunnel. I remember having to go through the tunnel every day. I had one class that was clear on the other end of the building, so every day we had to go back and forth through the tunnel, which was always cold. And yeah, like I said, I mean, it's made a lot of changes from the time that I was here. The programs have changed. The staff has obviously changed a lot. And even in just the years that I've been working here, it's gone through significant changes.
Through federal, state, and local funding, we've been able to continue our growth to meet the needs of our partner communities. This funding, along with donations to a technology fund and generous donations from business partners, has made it possible for us to keep up with the ever-changing world of technology.
Both my children attended Pioneer. My daughter works here now. She's a computer programming instructor. My grandchildren attended Pioneer daycare, and my great-granddaughter is at Pioneer in childcare now. So it's a family thing.
Yes, I did. Actually, I did early job placement my senior year, and then I went on to work for a bank for a while as a teller, then went into different businesses and worked in industry for 8 years until I came to Pioneer. In 1988, I joined Pioneer staff as a receptionist in the Board of Education and worked as a guidance secretary here, and then moved on to Mrs. Cannon's secretary in 2009.
The number one benefit of information technology is that it empowers people to do what they want to do. It lets people be creative. It lets people be productive. It lets people learn things they didn't think they could learn before, and so in a sense it is all about potential.
No, what I did is I started early job placement. Actually, I was able to start it the fourth 9 weeks of my junior year. And then the senior year, I proceeded right on through. It was a dealership called Mid-Ohio Gravely. My instructor at that time found me the placement. I stayed there for 14 years, never pursued any other college or education that way. However, the dealership gives you like industry, or it's not really industry, I guess you'd call it, credentials that you can go to schooling on the particular unit you're working on.
Students and staff. Granted, the students, when I came here, I think you guys were a little younger than me. Yes, you guys have grown. And the staff, yes, they've gotten older, like Mr. Costi. I don't think he has as much gray hair, but he's definitely gotten wiser with time and a little older, but that happens to us all. So, yeah, the students, though, I think they take this seriously, and that's good to see. Probably a little more than when I came to, so that's great to see.
Our most recent and most ambitious renovation was completed last year.
We were displaced for a year up on the second floor, and that was a new experience. We were always on the first floor. And the second floor, we had windows out to the roof, and you could see the construction workers out there, and so kids were constantly like looking out the window. They were distracted to see what they were doing, and all of the noise, and there was lots of dust at times also. And it was a year, it was an interesting year for sure for us as a science department, being in a normal classroom, not having access to all of our lab equipment that we like to use to bring home some of the lessons. So that was a tough year to get through, and we weren't upstairs for a full year. We moved downstairs back into our new classroom in the spring, late spring it was, and so we kind of got an introduction to what our new classrooms were going to be like. It wasn't until the following year that we actually got to fully engage all of the new electronics and equipment that was in our rooms and all of our new lab stations that we had and our lab tables. We had some hiccups along the way, but after all of that, we are settled in. Things are going good. We've moved past all the dust that we've had in the hallways, and the noise level is gone, and for the most part, all the hiccups are gone and things are going well.
And here we are today. Now that you've seen the history of our school and how we've progressed since the beginning, we have a special guest who will give us some insight on where we may be heading in the future.
Hello, friends of Pioneer. Wasn't it great to see how far Pioneer has come since the beginning? Please, a round of applause. Welcome, my name is Now, and I am here to tell you that Pioneer is a great place. But you already know that, don't you? I have visited several times in the past few months, and each time I learned something new. Did you know that at one end of the building there are little children, and at the other end of the building they bring in livestock, like cows and pigs? Wow! So, now that we have seen what has happened here in the past, and see what is here in the present, what do you suppose the future will bring? Well, for next year, Pioneer is bringing back a new and improved masonry program in a college now business management program. And they are starting a new industrial electrical technician program. Yes, as always, Pioneer is looking to the future and what they can do to prepare students. But what about way out in the future? What do you think we will have here, say, in 50 years? How about the construction programs building a house completely out of recycled materials? The transportation programs will be looking at different vehicles, like hovercrafts, and cars using all kinds of alternative fuels. Maybe one of the current students will develop something totally new and unique. Instead of a field trip to Germany, future students might visit outer space or under the sea. Then, they will probably be teaching algebra to the preschoolers. Some programs will work together, like culinary students making wonderful desserts, then sending customers to exercise science to work off the calories. Or medical students and IT students working together to learn how to take care of folks like me. Whatever happens, I feel confident that Pioneer will be leading the way for students to be ready for whatever is out there. Now, as I said before, I learn something new each time I come to Pioneer. Let me show you what I learned while visiting performing arts past and present. you to the partner school administration and board members for all your support of Pioneer over the last 45 years. Keep up the good work, and thank you for your time this evening.